Tesla had just announced that they will be closing down most of their stores. And normally, when you hear an announcement like this, it's bad news. That means the company is doing pretty poorly. But in this case, they're doing it because they're doing very, very well. I know it sounds weird, so let me explain. All of this is coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric. Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward and become a part of our awesome community here on this channel. Okay, so let's talk about it. You know, the Tesla showrooms, they will remind a lot of people of Apple showrooms, and you know, a lot of other manufacturers, especially the startups, kind of look like they're modeling theirs after Tesla showrooms, and they are beautiful. I mean, it's you know, if you ever been to one, and I'm sure most of you who are watching has, or have seen at least pictures, they are really cool. But you know, earlier today, Tesla announced that they are going to be releasing the long-awaited $35,000 Model 3 version, which is probably the biggest announcement ever in this industry. But along with it, somewhere in their announcement, they also said that, you know, they decided that they don't need these showrooms. Now, they're going to still keep a few of them in a really high traffic area, but they've decided to do this for quite a few interesting reasons. And I'm wondering, and we're going to address this in the positive negative section of this video. So let me tell you what they said. Now, before that, of course, let me remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla, including the standard range, of course, that's coming out in the next 2 to 4 weeks. I still can't believe that. There's a discount code in the description of this video that you can grab and save yourselves a few bucks. All right, so let's get to some quotes straight from their blog. So here's what they're saying. To achieve these prices while remaining financially sustainable, Tesla is shifting sales worldwide to online only. You can now buy a Tesla in North America via your phone in about 1 minute, and that capability will soon be extended worldwide. Okay. That's pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not really sure if 1 minute. I mean, I don't know, the paperwork and applications and all of that stuff. I think you can order one, but I'm sure that the paperwork and financing and other things, you know, pay stubs and whatever else people got to do nowadays, it's obviously going to be beyond that, and a lot of it has to be paperwork, or at least like, you know, online PDF stuff. All right, so moving forward, they said you can now return a car within 7 days or 1,000 miles for a full refund. Quite literally, you can buy a Tesla, drive several hundred miles for a weekend road trip with friends, and then return it for free. It's quite interesting how they're inviting everybody to take advantage of them. But to be honest with you, I rarely see a person who got into a Tesla for the first time and didn't want one right away. So you know, obviously this is not that easy to get into one, because you still need to pay for it. I mean, they'll give you a refund, but you still have to pay for it, right? And I'm not really sure if the sales tax will be returned. I'm going to assume it will, right? As a matter of fact, they probably won't even file for it until they, you know, you show up and don't show up at their showroom again. But okay, so the final quote is this one. Over the next few months, we will be winding down, which I'm assuming closing, many of our stores, with a small number of stores and high traffic locations remaining as galleries, showcases, and Tesla information centers. Now, let me just point out really quickly that it looks like they did say that they will obviously keep the service centers, because a lot of times they're together, right? They'll keep their service centers. As a matter of fact, I'm going to assume they probably expand them into the showrooms that they're closing. And they know, obviously they've committed to actually gear up on those, and because you know, that's been an issue, customer service and so forth. But you know, so very interesting, right? Very interesting that all of a sudden they decided, you know, we don't need all these stores. And they're probably right. They're probably right, because I mean, most people buy Tesla because someone else told them about it, or they watch YouTube videos, or somebody. And all of us, the Tesla drivers, I think all of us were either done or offered test drives to our friends because we want everybody else to have it, right? Unlike Ferrari and Lamborghini owners who don't want anybody else to have one, I feel like Tesla owners want everybody to have one. So we've always been very accommodating as far as being the salespeople for Tesla, essentially, and offering rides and giving people test drives and stuff like that. So they're right. I'm not sure what's going to happen in a few years when the market will even out and there will be other good alternatives that are probably going to be better than Tesla in different ways and addressing different needs that people have. So that is a kind of a concern. But I guess, listen, I guess they'll maybe have more money or they'll have to ramp things up again. But I think they're safe for a few years. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised that they've only done it now because this is I think the facts and stats that they've used to generate this idea kind of were there all along, for definitely for the last few years. So I'm kind of surprised that they've only now decided to do that, because essentially, they could have, if they've done it a few years ago, they wouldn't have spared themselves a lot of openings and closings and lease payments and employees and stuff like that. So that's a little bit weird that they didn't kind of only kind of sprung on them just now. But yeah, I'm kind of speechless because it's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? All right, so let's talk about, of course, negatives and positives. All right, so positive is obviously, we're moving forward where, buying a car doesn't have to be a whole day at the dealership and being lied to and trying to get the car there. And, listen, I don't know, you guys know, how frustrating it is right now, and it's been for many, many decades, really. So the fact that you can whip out your phone and say, listen, I already test drove this car. My friend showed it to me, and, I'm perfectly fine with it. Boom, and I'm just going to go ahead and order it and go on my way and then wait for it on, all the paperwork requests. That's absolutely amazing, and that's great. Obviously, for Tesla and Tesla investors, people who own stock, this is a great way to cut costs. Obviously, running stores is expensive. Either you have to buy the land or lease it and pay the employees and all of that stuff and have cars there. So, I have to say that's a great way to cut down on their costs, and along with cutting down their workforce and cutting down on the referral program. I think all of this has kind of enabled what just happened earlier today, which is the $35,000 Model 3 finally available for people to actually buy and own. So it's definitely good, but I feel like there is still something to be said about what on the other side of the story, right? So let's talk about the negatives. Obviously, I think that they're being a little bit too optimistic here. I think the point that, hey, listen, you don't need to test drive this car because you can buy it, and if you don't like it, you can return it. And there's a big difference between stopping by between your shopping on a Sunday afternoon, test driving a car for 10-15 minutes, and even if it takes the whole hour, there's a difference between that and actually dishing out 35,000 or more dollars doing the paperwork and then undoing everything in about a week. So I think the whole point of the test drive is that test part, not the drive part. So I think that might prevent some people from getting this car, but once again, they don't really have problems selling them right now. This problem might come later when they get competition, when the reality will hit that they're no longer a monopoly, because right now they absolutely are. Their cars are by far the best, though other manufacturers are catching up, as if you watch my channel. So that would be the only negative, which I think they won't have to deal for a while. So I mean, that's just the only thing that I can find as far as a drawback here. But definitely exciting news. A very breakthrough kind of thinking, right? Like also kind of shocking, and that's why I wanted to make a separate video about this, because of how interesting this is. Let me know what you think about it. By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of my newer Patreons, Evan McCarty. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. This is the only place where you can watch me live on Patreon. And thank you to all of you for contributing and keeping this channel alive and basically making sure I can do this full time. So I really appreciate it. If you want to join, boom, right there, patreon.com/electric. The link is also in the description of this video. So thank you so much for those of you who are just about to join. All right, let me know. What do you guys think? Would you buy a car without seeing it and test driving it in a showroom? Was just kind of a 7-day trial period, or trying to get the car from your friends to test drive? Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.